Happy Wind Down Wednesday, everyone. I am Sistah Scifi, CEO and founder of Sistah Scifi, working hard to make Wednesday your new favorite day of the week. So today we'll be talking with Ayize and talking about his new book, Heroes of the Unknown World. So I will be completely transparent. I'm experimenting with something new where I give more space to independently published authors to talk about their book, to talk about their experience writing, to talk about Black speculative fiction. And the only way I can do that is I haven't read the book. The book is available wherever books are sold. Sistah Scifi doesn't sell it just to support the broader and larger ecosystem of Black speculative fiction writers, while being aware of my own limited capacity as both a human being and somebody who runs Sistah Scifi. So if you think that's a cool idea, let me know in the chat. If you have feedback, also let me know that. Yeah. And also just general, let me know how your Wednesday's been. My Wednesday has been absolutely, positively terrific. Brian Zhu Li, I may be mispronouncing his last name, who is somebody who has also been on a Sistah Scifi Wind Down Wednesday a couple last year discussing Queen of the Dan and King of the Conquered is visiting me here in Oakland, so that's been fun. He got to see the Sistah Scifi book vending machine at Oaklandia. I got news that the credit card machine, the credit card reader on the Sistah Scifi book vending machine should be working as of tomorrow, which is like really amazing to me. So that's how my Wednesday's been. Professor Quake says, happy Wednesday to you too. It seems like your Wednesday has been productive, so I'm happy to hear that. So yeah, let me know how your Wednesday has been or how your week has been. And all that good stuff. And yeah, and today we'll be talking about Heroes of an Unknown World. And I'm excited. So yeah, let me know how your Wednesday has been. And while you do that, 2 minutes towards the hour, I will send a request to Ayize. I'm worried that I'm mispronouncing. Okay, Ayize, you should have received a join request. And let me know in the chat if you have not gotten it, and we'll troubleshoot that. While we wait for Ayize to join, again, let me know how your Wednesday has been. My Wednesday has been terrific. I'm excited about this week. There is even a chance that I will resume going into rock climbing, which is very exciting to me. Hey, favorite librarian, and hey, the Free Read Project. And I'm wondering if that's like reading for freedom or reading free books. But anyway, in either case, I think that's a cool handle. Okay, let me double check on Ayize. Okay, the invite is still out there. Okay, so let me know in the chat if you've read any of the final Liminal series. Let me read a little bit about what it says on the cover. The Liminal books deserve a place on the bookshelf alongside ambitious fantasy series like Marlon James' Dark Star Trilogy and N.K. Jemisin's Broken Earth Trilogy. Big, ambitious, wildly inventive, and full of heart. Dive in. You'll love what you discover. And that's by Victor Laval. So that is an awesome blurb on the cover. So that's exciting. Let's see who else has blurbed it. The New York Times book review. So we'll read that. A vitality to the voice and the weirdness that, while not always controlled or intentional, is highly appealing just for that reason. And and I'm reading it for the first time as I read it with you. Probably not the way to go. Leilani Clark of KQED says, like Ursula K. Le Guin and Octavia Butler before him, Jama Everett has a knack for braiding issues of spirituality and race to a compelling fantasy landscape. So that's another really interesting review. And, being compared to Ursula and Octavia is always like high praise in my book. Okay, so Ayize, I'm going to send you the invite one more time. Maybe you're chatting something to me and I can't see it. This might cause some slight issues. I'm going to try to check my text messages to see if he's texting me. So if you're like, what just happened? That's what happened. The text message. So Ayize, I'm here. I resent you the request to join. If you're having any technical difficulties, please let me know in the chat. Yeah. Let's read the synopsis. After traveling back in time to rescue his daughter, Taggert has returned to the present and found himself in his favorite place, up against the wall. That's his favorite place. Oh. We move very differently in life, but the world they've returned to is not the one they left. Everything is slightly grayer, the music is boring, and the joy is just out of reach. The Liminals, entropic enemies, the altars, are trying to bring about the end of the world while sucking the life, literally, out of enough people to tip the balance their way. Traveling from Jamaica to London to Indonesia to the heart of the whirlwind in the desert, at the heart of all deserts, Taggert and his found family of Liminals and supporters have found a way to bring back the joy before have to find a way to bring back the joy before they're all ground up into gray dust. That is intense. So that is a synopsis for Heroes of an Unknown World, and that explains the grayness of this cover. So, and imagine one of these people is Taggert. So it should be an interesting discussion. If we can get Ayize on, I'm gonna try one more time because I am nothing if not persistent. So yeah. But I will not sing because I don't sing well. So Ayize, if you're getting these requests and you're facing technical difficulties, let me know. If you're not getting the request, also let me know. You can just let me know in the chat in Instagram, like in this Instagram live. You can send me an email. You can send me a text, but it's a little bit hard to navigate that. So yeah, so let assistant know what's up. While we wait for we can give Ayize like about 5 more minutes. Let us know if you let me know in the chat if you've read anything by Ayize. Let me know if I'm pronouncing Ayize's name wrong. And let me know how your week has been. I've heard productive. I shared that thus far my week feels good. I've had great visitors. Oh, yesterday was Valentine's Day. So that's a great question. Let me know how your Valentine's Day was in the chat. My Valentine's Day was sweet. Yeah, for the first time I had a platonic Valentine's Day. It was cute. We made lunch together and then co-worked. It was productive. I mean, not as productive as I would like. I know some of you waiting for updates for your orders, and those will go out tonight. But it was productive. So, yeah. So yeah, just know that those updates are coming. Maybe tonight, but most likely tomorrow morning. So yeah, so that was my Valentine's Day, and I found the cutest library humor memes on Instagram. The first one was like, "Are you a banned book? Because you're on fire," and I loved it. And the second one was, um, I think, "Can I get your call number?" And I was like, "I'm here for it." I realized that Valentine's Day library humor is absolute best. Okay, so is easy. I'm gonna try one more time. And then I am going to in the intro um next week we'll be talking to Nisi Shaw. They wrote their YA fantasy book Speculation. I am really excited to discuss it with you. Nisi Shaw is amazing. They wrote Everett. Um, they edited New Sons 1 and 2. So 2 comes out this year, March. They're working on Kinning, which is book 2 of Everfair, and so Nisi will be here. Nisi has also lived or currently lives in the Pacific Northwest, where I was before moving from there to Oakland. So we will be talking about speculation. The book birthday was yesterday. I'm working really hard to make it available on site. Launching these book vending machines took more of my life than I ever expected. So yeah, so that'll be next week. I'm really excited. It'll be amazing. Yeah, yeah. And so we'll have the book for order. The book is absolutely, geez, the book is an absolutely beautiful cover, which is on the other side of the room. So that's what I keep looking for. But please join us next week. That will be our last Sistah Sci-Fi Wind Down Wednesday of Black History, Black Futures Month. But we have an amazing lineup this year. I'm so proud of the authors I'll be talking to. So I'll be talking to Diane Marie Brown, discussing Black Candlewoman. I'll be discussing Delicious Monsters. It'll be me and another like me and an author will be discussing Delicious Monsters with the author of that book, Leslie. I'm not prepared to give last names. So hey Tim, hey Books, Gers and Purrs, and hey Miss Joy. Hey. So yeah, so that will also happen in March. I'm really excited. Yeah, we have a really cool lineup for March. It should be updated on the Eventbrite. I'm not going to try to multitask and check. Also, I'm excited about all authors, but y'all know I love to discuss anything in the Black speculative fiction space. And right, I'm not. If Ayize doesn't join, this video will disappear. So you and me will have a little secret. In April, we are talking to the founder of Bronze, the restaurant in DC. Bronze is an Afrofuturism themed restaurant. I think the first Afrofuturism themed restaurant. Let's put that out there. And so yeah, he'll be on Sistah Sci-Fi Wind Down Wednesday at the end of April, talking about his experience, talking about what makes Bronze Afrofuturistic. And the fangirl in me is so excited. I'm so excited. It took so much work to get him on the show because obviously he's 8 p.m. Pacific Eastern Standard Time is dinner time. It's lunch. It's the dinner rush. But he's going to carve out 15 minutes to talk to us. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Ayize, you cannot join from your laptop. You have to join from your phone. So that is the issue. That's why it's not working. Thank you so much for messaging. So please, if at all possible, please open the Instagram app on your phone, join from your phone, and then we can get this party started. But yeah, so I sent you another join request, and that's good to know that that's what's going on. So for those of you who joined a little late, we will be discussing, thank you, Tim. We will be discussing Heroes of the Unknown World with the author Ayize Jama Everett. This is part of the Liminal. This is the final Liminal novel, so it's a part of that series. The synopsis is great. We read some of the quotes. The one on the front is by Victor Laval, author of The Changing. Victor loved it. So if you liked work by Victor Laval, you might also like this book. And yeah. Okay. I'm excited. Are y'all excited? Oh, okay. That was anticlimactic. Taking a second to get grounded. Taking a second, like, universe along with me. So, Ayize, I accepted your join request, and it said you cannot join. I just want to confirm that you are joining from your mobile phone, that you have the latest version of Instagram installed on your mobile phone, and that's all the troubleshooting I can think of. Okay, I'm gonna accept this again. Second time is a charm. I'm crossing my fingers. Okay. Ayize is checking for the latest version of Instagram. So how? Okay, so I told you about bronze coming. I'm pretty sure we scheduled that for the last weekend in April. So if you want to be super hip, you can, if you want to be. Oh, here's the Asia Pop Films. I think I'm good. But I should message you, and we should work on a project together. There's so much going on, so much, but that not here right now. But yeah, so if you want to be super hip and ahead of the game, you should visit Bronze before. Keem is on Sistah Scifi on down Wednesday, and then you can give us all the tea in the chat, like what you ordered and all that kind of stuff. I'm like really excited to have Keem on and like talk about Bronze and how the community is receiving the restaurant. It seems like it's really hard to get reservations, which makes me really happy. So yeah, please continue to support Bronze because I love the concept. And I can't wait to visit it myself the next time I'm on the East Coast. Okay, so Ayize, can you let me know in the chat? Are you still downloading the latest version? Yay!
Oh my God, why was that so difficult? I'm so sorry.
No, sometimes the universe uses technology to teach us important lessons. I'm not quite sure what this lesson was,
sure either,
but
but I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yay. Awesome. Asia Pop, thank you very much. Timothy is happy that you're here. So let's start with, please introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Ayize Jama Everett. I am the author of The Liminal People, The Liminal War, The Entropy of Bones, and as of yesterday, Heroes of an Unknown World. And I'm also the author of Box of Bones, a graphic novel put out by Rosarian Press with award-winning author John Jennings. And I will soon be the author of another book, The Last Count of Monte Cristo, coming out through Megascope Press in April.
So wait, I didn't, I mean, one, that is absolutely amazing.
Uh-huh.
So let me yay!
Thank you.
Hercules. I love doing that. Two, I don't know if you know, but over here, we stand for John Jennings and we love
Uh,
Megascope.
That's
So,
my homie.
yeah, we
That's my
saw,
homie since before Megascope.
yeah. I saw like the Count of Monte Cristo, but I didn't connect that was part of your project. So exciting for you. So that was that. And then, yeah. So I love that. I love that introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I confess, I've been hearing about the bookstore in Oaklandia, and I've like wanted to come by, but like post-COVID, just like leaving the house always just feels like, time and a half. But I got to come over. I will totally support. I love that there is a Afrofuturist bookstore run by women. Awesome, like in the Bay. Like that's like the cinnamon on the cinnamon toast crunch for me. So.
Oh, the cinnamon on the cinnamon toast crunch. So one, it makes me happy to move with ease. Right. The machine isn't going anywhere, to my knowledge.
Never know.
So yeah, and we can plan a time where like you can come to the store, you can meet Latora who owns come to the store, meaning the coffee shop, right? Because the books are in the vending machine, but and like meet Latora and like maybe do an event and all that kind of stuff. So that's a follow-up email. But I'm glad it makes you happy. Yeah, and then, oh yeah. So before we get into discussion about the book and Black speculative fiction in general and all that kind of stuff, how was your week? How you feeling? How's your heart?
It's crazy right now. I there's a lot of stuff going on. So on the writing side, I'm meeting with you today. Very happy. Tomorrow, I have a book release at City Lights Books in San Francisco.
Ooh.
Yeah, please come if you can. You're more than welcome. And then
When is it?
6,
Email me.
okay.
Okay.
6
What
p.m.
time?
6 p.m. City Lights Books. It's also online as well. If folks want to get on that way, it's at the website. But I'll be there in person, signing books, shaking babies, kissing hands, all that. And then Friday, I'm going down to Riverside for their Writers Week, and I'll be on stage with some awesome folks. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it's all gravy. It's everything that I've like wanted and been building towards for years. So
That is
yeah,
Wakanda Alliance says congrats on the release, brother. So
appreciate that, Wakanda Alliance. I love it.
yeah. I So send me. I will look for the information tomorrow. I'm actually, as opposed to sending the email blast today, I'll send it tomorrow. So I'll include information
Thank you.
in the email blast. This is a Sci-Fi email blast. I would be there personally, but I scheduled a belated Valentine's date with one of my partners. Otherwise, you'd be there.
I like how you just slip in there with one of my partners. Like, I love y'all poly people out here. Just be like, what? Like, why are you mad? Like, I love it.
Yeah, I'm like, one of my partners is like, yeah, I have this big coming out social media post. And I'm just like, I just say one of my partners a lot. And
Keep it
people just be
moving.
like, oh, yeah. And you're actually the first person to actually like respond to that. Like, oh, I guess she's practicing polyamory. I do. In
I'm sorry,
case
I didn't mean to call.
didn't know.
I didn't mean to call it out. I thought she said it. So.
No.
Okay.
I was waiting for the call. I was like, I mean, I think people know. I mean, they know now. So, I mean, they should have known before because I said that in the past. So, yes. As poly people be out there trying to normalize it by saying stuff like, my brothers. Okay. So, one, I love your energy.
Oh, thank you.
Right. And your profile image is so different to me. Like I read it so differently than your energy. Is that just me? Is that a me thing?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
The one with the crown?
Yeah.
You like you're wearing the crown.
Yeah. What did you get from that? I'm just curious. You thought I was a hotep, didn't you?
I did. And I was like, can I say this?
He's like, I
I was
gotta say
like,
it.
I was like, how do I filter? I was like, I know that's really just, and I was like, I'm a trust the universe. I'm sure, like, Ayize is amazing, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's funny. I had a writing teacher at one point. Renee Swindle, absolutely amazing author. She wrote Please, Please, Please book. Totally check it out. And it was like that sort of independent writing thing, like just a writing group. And the entire writing group, she was looking at me. She was like, oh, I don't know about this dude. And I was like, what did I do? Black woman, And I was like, I thought we were cool. Like, what's happening? And she thought I was like some crazy asshole type too. I just, you know, I don't, I'll be honest, like, I don't like pictures. Like, I don't think I look like pictures, I don't think represent me. Like any of them. There's barely been a picture that I've seen that I like. So everybody gets mad at me because whenever I'm in a picture, I'm always like sticking my tongue out or like doing this or like something because I'm like, this shit isn't real. This doesn't matter. So that picture is like a picture that I actually like. Like it's I don't know how like zoomed out it was, but like I got a cupcake in one hand. I think in one of like have my like glasses hanging out my mouth, and then like I just use it because it's the only picture that I think I don't know represents my fun side. But I think so many authors act so seriously all the time and act like they know what they're doing all the time that like people take that seriously, and I'm like, no, my God. Like I just heard what's his name? T-Pain said that I'm in love with the stripper. That started out as a joke. Like it was a joke that he would say, yeah, that he would tell, like his friend would be like, oh no, she's so pretty. He's like, oh yeah, look, oh I'm in love with a stripper, dummy, right? Like, and then like he's like, and then people took it serious, and I was like, oh shit, that's how I feel about that picture. I'm like, like you talk to me for 2 seconds, like, oh this dude is not walking around with a crown on his head.
Right. I mean, yes. And I'm like, I'm probably misinterpreting this picture. But yeah. So now I know. So yes. Wakanda Alliance is laughing at the Hotep. Yeah, laughing at me. And Wakanda Alliance is also thought I meant business partners. So I'm glad we cleared that up.
Try helping you out.
I was not referring to business partners.
Be like opening up you for more partners. People didn't know that she was available. So now they're like, oh, okay.
It's like, yeah. So now people know. So yes. Let's talk about the final liminal novel. It's heavy. So let's talk about that. But let me just, I know I read this blurb before, and I'll read it again. The liminal books deserve a place on the bookshelves alongside ambitious fantasy series like Marlon James' Dark Star Trilogy and N.K. Jemisin's Broken Earth Trilogy. Big, ambitious, wildly inventive, and full of heart. Dive in. You'll love what you discover. By Victor Laval. Right? And it's coming, and this is the final book. I know there was no question in that. I was just like, it's space for you to respond.
I was so surprised to get that blurb from Victor. I had interviewed him for the LA Review of Books, and we had like a great interview, and like I learned so much from that interview. I was like, cool, that's it. That's my relationship with Victor Laval, because that dude is hella busy all the time. So I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know that my publisher sent the book to him for a blurb. And so when it came back, like there have been 2 blurbs that have just like rocked me. For Liminal People, the one was from Andrew Vox, rest in peace, freaking amazing writer. And then this one from Victor, I was just like, because I got another novel that I got that I was going to send that to him, because I was like, I took a lot of his advice from that interview and kind of wove it into that novel. So I was holding back to be like, yo, if you're willing, I would love if you could read this. Like I'm I stay humble, otherwise life will humble you, So I'm just like, if you can, but so I didn't expect that. So I was blown away.
It's a great book. So tell us, I read the synopsis for Heroes of an Unknown World earlier, but tell us about the series about Taggert and his daughter, and what
Yeah.
and the altars that are trying to like literally suck their joy. Like, I don't like this.
Perfect reaction to the altar. It's like, no, this is not okay. Um, so Taggert is a person who can heal or hurt others just by thinking about them. And the first book is all about him kind of realizing that he is more than just somebody else's dog. That he has a right to happiness, that he has a right to joy, that he has a right to a family. And it's a bit of a reveal, but it's already in there. Like, part of it is like him going to an old girlfriend calls him and has a daughter that's gone missing, and he needs to go find his ex-girlfriend's daughter. Along the way, you're introduced to the culture and people of liminals that are something more than human and less than gods, as I call them. And they have wildly varied powers and abilities that don't conform to science or magic. They're something in between. They are liminal people. And so the first book is about Taggert and Tamara, and then another girl that he ends up adopting, Prentice. By the time we get to this book, let's just say that they have had their asses handed to them in more ways than one, but they're not broken, right? Because they are fighters. And it's like, at the end of the Liminal War, it's kind of, they're like, another character's like, yo, we lost. And they're like, yeah, but we're still gonna fight. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, it's okay to lose as long as you don't give up. Like, they're like, yeah, but everything got broken and everything's messed up. And then he's like, yeah, that's when you gotta fight more, my guy. Like, you only lose when you quit.
Right.
And so this book, and this is my favorite kind of story to write, is everything is against them. There are no angles that like this, like it doesn't, they should not be able to win. And I won't give away the ending, but it's like, it's a contentious win, maybe. You know what I mean? So to me, it's a story born out of Blackness. Like, I think African Americans, one of the freaking awesome things about us is like, you give us the shittiest part of a pig and watch us make a freaking, meal. You give us the crappiest instruments on the planet, watch us make jazz, right? Like, that's our alchemy. We alchemize the American experience and make it something good, right? So that's the Black liminal experience in this book, if you will.
I love it. And you're right about that alchemization. And I think at some point as a reader, I told myself the story that it's only a happy ending if my protagonist wins, right? And I think as I mature as a reader, right, I'm coming to like that process, and that struggle is also valuable, even if like the ending isn't like a win, right? Or like like they won the battle or something like that, right? That's also meaningful and powerful. How do you balance that as a writer in the series, and in the series in particular?
Okay, I hate Superman. Okay, as a character,
Okay.
I hate Superman because you can't beat Superman. Like, you can't, like, how are you gonna beat Superman? That don't make no sense. Like, if I was a robber and I saw Superman, I'd be like, here, man, take the gun. Like, take the gun. Stop that shit. Like, I don't want to get into all this, right? That makes no sense. I like characters that like human beings, take a loss every now and then, or often, right? That guy I was talking about before, Andrew Vox, who wrote the awesome blurb for the first Liminal people. We came, same war, same fight. We fought for. He's a general in the army of fighting for kids, and I used to work in community mental health, I used to work in juvenile justice. I used to work, with homeless kids, with and Doomsday didn't beat him because he's still around, Timothy. That's the problem. He wasn't really hurt. He was okay. Sorry. Anyway, Andrew Vax, I wrote to him one time and I said, I hope one day my allies outnumber my enemies. And he said they don't have to outnumber them. They just have to fight harder than them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story that I like. That's the narrative that I like. I don't need things to be easy. In fact, that's a boring story, right? Bad guys came in, good guys came in, good guys beat the bad guys, and they all had chicken, and that was the end of it, right? Like the story, and this goes back to Greek and Roman times. The cult of the hero is the cult of the dead. The hero in all these ancient stories dies. The story, the tale that they have to go through is so strenuous, is so enormous, that what we are singing about, what we are talking about, from the Iliad to the Trials of Hercules to whatever, is that final battle that they won, but it cost them their lives, right? And that's embedded in all of these narratives. Even if you look at the first arc of the Marvel movies, right? How does it have to end? It has to end with Iron Man dying. Why? Because Iron Man is the launch of the series, right? And how many times does he die? He dies in the first Avengers movie almost. He falls through a hole in the sky. It's like again and again and again. So for me, my heroes gotta have some mud on them. They gotta have some bruises and scars and boo-boos. And then I'm like, okay, so this is a real one here. If you're Superman, you're like, oh, somebody tore my cape. I'm like, shut up. Sit down. That's me.
Okay. What? And I'm sure you get this question a lot, but what was the impetus of the series, of the Liminal series?
Spite and rage.
Oh, I love it. Those are great motivators. There's a lot. I mean, I'm a Scorpio, so there's a lot I've done based off of spite and rage.
Yeah, I understand.
It's like, I get that.
You're right. Anger gets shit done. I had written this really complex, insane, amazing, I thought, novel that I was getting the best rejection letters in the world for. This is beautiful writing. We don't publish this kind of shit. This is great character development. Unfortunately, we only do fantasy. This is an awesome sci-fi book. Unfortunately, I was like, God damn it. And then one person wrote back and they were like, yo, hope you don't take this as criticism, but it's a very complex plot. Perhaps if you wrote something simpler, you might have an easier time getting it published. And can I tell you the levels of rage that arose? I was like, Simple! Did you tell Hemingway you wanted something simple? Did you? Ah! And so I was like, I'll give you simple. And I took a minor character, Taggert, and I gave him a complete and full, total backstory that had nothing to do with that initial novel, or very little to do with that initial novel, and that was the Liminal People. I wrote it in a month.
So you might close your camera after this, but the person who gave you that thought, some may say that person was right.
Oh no, they were absolutely right.
Oh.
Listen, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing now. I don't know what I was doing 12 years ago. All I know is that I wanted to write books. I just wanted to write the X-Men. But then I couldn't find any artists that would work. I was like, okay, I'll just write novels. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew what I liked reading, which I think hopefully all writers start with. Okay, I want to write something. I met this one person one time that did the coolest thing in the world. They found a novel that they liked, and they rewrote the novel word for word. And I was like, what is that about? They were like,
wow.
I said, I want to know what it feels like to write a novel that I like. And I was like, that is some Jedi magic, deep, sympathetic magic type-ish. I don't know if they're still writing, but I was like, right, but I get that impulse, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. But this was back when you had to like wait until, a publisher or editor came back to you saying, yes, we want to rep this book before you sent it out to somebody else. So I was doing a lot of just like,
oh, waiting. Oh, I mean, and I'm saying, oh, like that, not because it's like, oh, that's fascinating. Because, to be honest, I know very little about the writing world, the publishing world, probably also book selling, because I didn't know anything about book selling until I started selling books. So when I hear it, I was like, oh, that's really fascinating. I think sometimes I think about like submission, like college application essays or grad school application essays, where you're just like, I'm gonna just send it out all at once. There's a deadline, boom, let's go.
I think it's more like that now. But remember, this is 2006, 7. Like publishing, like, kind of knew what it was doing, but was also feeling the sea change around like ebooks and like, things just started moving like just fundamentally like quicker. Like all of a sudden, everything just started speeding up. That's why Liminal People, the first one I self-published initially.
Right.
Because I was like, well, y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all don't know what's selling. And I was like, no, I'm not going to wait around forever hoping that somebody likes my shit. I know that someone will like my shit if they get to see it. So I just started putting it out there.
How did you know?
How did I know that somebody would like it?
Yeah.
Because I can tell an excellent story. Like if we're sitting around like talking shit, I'll keep you entertained for hours. If you put me on a stand-up stage, I got you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I love stories. I love stories, and I grew up reading like almost. My parents are like Black revolutionaries, so like I grew up reading like Frantz Fanon and the X-Men, right? Like I grew up reading like weird things, but like it was always like there was some sci-fi, there was some like fantastical, like mythology, like whatever. I was like I know that world. Like more than I know this world, I know that world.
Got it.
I was like, okay, I can do this. And if you read Liminal People, it's like, yeah, there's like people with powers and stuff in it, but it feels very this worldy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think even
Mm-hmm.
Heroes of the Unknown World, like you kind of have to strain, you have to strain a little bit in order to see like the fantasy aspects of it. But a lot of it feels very current.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but as you describe kind of like your background, it's not like you like went to school, got a degree in writing, literature, and then like started writing books. Like it sounded like you had other careers before focusing on writing. So how was that path?
I still do. Like I say, real artists have day jobs, right? Because I feel like it's almost like a spiritual calling, right? Like my grandma always told me, like, you don't pay people for spiritual work, right? Like you offer them, but you don't pay them because money has its own spirit, right? I think like with writing and with the creative aspects, it's like if you're doing it just for the dollar, look, there's people that do that and they make a living, and sometimes I'm jealous of them, I'll be honest. But like if you really want to follow where your creative path leads, you kind of gotta take a risk. You gotta put yourself like out on the line. So instead of going to the club, you might have to stay home and write. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of like, kikiing with like this one, that one, and the other one, you may have to be like, yo, sorry, this weekend is all about the novel. That's how I get down. I know other people are different, and I'm not judging anybody else's process, but yeah, I mean, like I'm a therapist. I work a lot in the psychedelic space. I'm a professor. I teach creative writing. Like I've been a bartender. I've been a freaking, what else have I been? I've like made whiskey. I've made like spirits for a while. I've been
So, okay, like, I mean, all of that is super fascinating. But you're like, I made whiskey, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, you made whiskey like people made kombucha? Like, did you, like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means.
I run a still, like made my own mash and, put together put together some whiskey, put together some vodkas, put together some gins, yeah,
Okay.
like I've done lots of different shit. And I think so the first biography, not biography, but like just about the author that I ever read was Frank Herbert's Dune, or at the back of Frank Herbert's Dune. And I was like, who the hell is this Frank? Like, what is this shit? I'm like, is that Arabic in this novel? Like, is that what's going on? Is this all that? I was like, who is this dude? And when you read what Frank Herbert, he was like, I was a fisherman, I was a dean, I was a truck driver. I was like, good God. But what that told me was like, oh, okay, like, it is important to have real life experience if you're going to be an author, right? It is not like I can't create anything out of whole cloth. I create experience. So my job as an author and my job as a human being is to fully embed myself in as much experience as possible.
That makes sense. That's so fascinating. I feel very comfortable hyper focusing. So part of me is like, oh my God, that's like so anxiety provoking. And I'm like letting it wash over me. Like, and it's that richness of like that lived experiences feeding the work, right? Which is, as I think about like some of the authors that I appreciate the most, there's you, there's Octavia Butler, who had a host of different jobs and careers. There's M.K. Jemison. Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, there's Nikki Drayton. Like that's yeah. Anyway, that makes perfect sense. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you lose. I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I don't know if you lose something when all you do is write. But I know that all the authors that I appreciate, like that, when I rush to the bookstore whenever they have a new thing, they all have had other jobs, and even the ones who don't, they throw themselves into their research in a way that's a job. I'm thinking specifically, and I can't remember his name right now. It is killing me. His book is over there. He wrote Clockers. He wrote The Whites. He wrote go. He used to write for The Wire as well. And white dude, freaking amazing. And every time he does research, this dude is like in the back of cop cars. He is like in prison. He is talking to people. He's not just, writing off the top of his head. You know what I mean? Are you looking him up right now?
Yeah, I think it's Harry Brandt.
No, but
No,
it's a pseudonym.
sorry. The pen name of Richard Price.
Yes, Richard Price. That dude, listen, if you like crime novels, if you like that kind of stuff, and not some old hypothetical BS, but some like what it actually feels to go through central booking, Richard Price is the dude. Like that, yeah, old school New York crime writer. I love that guy. And when he writes, like he's not, it's the fiction is maybe a character, but everything else is real. Maybe it's transposed, but it's real.
Okay.
Dig him.
Okay.
Same as Victor.
There's so many questions and
sorry.
Okay. So that's a great segue. What are you reading like right now? Like, yeah.
Real talk?
Yeah.
I am reading students' pitches. I teach at Western Colorado's creative writing class in the genre fiction course. So I am reading one student's awesome thesis about that's like a black sci-fi, like almost like a crime heist thing, which is absolutely amazing.
Oh, okay.
And I'm reading a lot of first year students. The program is interesting. Like you have to write horror, you have to write romance, you have to pitch like horror, romance, sci-fi, Western, all the stuff. So the only thing I have time to read right now is their stuff. Yes.
I love it. See, and I mean, like, not being able to be like, look, this is my lane, which explains what I do. I'm like, you got me writing Westerns, I'd be so high. You'd have to be like, Isis, this is a course you signed up for. If you don't write that pitch, and I would be very annoyed. And then I'd be finished, and I'm like, I'm glad that I had to do this. I mean, like, I was glad I had to learn algebra, but I'd be really annoyed in the moment.
At first, I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, why? Look, I'm like you. I'm focused. I'm like, I went to grad school for MFA after 3 books already done. They were like, so you have to do short stories. I was like, I'm not doing short stories. Like, I'm doing a chapter of my novel every week. That's what I'm doing.
It's
you can read that
I
if you
know,
want to,
yes.
you know. But I will say, this process with Western Colorado, really, really smart, because what happens is, let's say you want to write, sci-fi. All of a sudden, you're looking at, oh shit, well maybe how do I put some romance in my sci-fi? How do I put some Western themes in my? Where's the heart, right? And then all of a sudden, because this is my thing with genre, right? Everything is genre,
Yes.
right? Like literature, fine literature is genre. I would say, like, if it wasn't for the suburbs, cancer, and divorce, the New Yorker would have no literary section, right? That's the genre, right? White people getting divorced and having cancer in the suburbs is an entire genre, as far as I'm concerned, right? We just call it literature, right? So let's beef that up a little bit and see, like, what are we centering as our genre? When you say genre, what is it that we are talking about? And that's where stuff gets really interesting to me.
Agreed. So Ray Ascension Artistry asked, what is the topic tonight? I came in late. Yeah, you came in hell late, but we still got you. So we are here with Ayize. Am I pronouncing that 100% right?
Yep, Ayize.
Ayize. Jama Everett discussing Heroes of the Unknown Worlds, which is the final liminal novel. You can get this at your fine bookseller, ebook, audio. It's audiobook, right?
No, it's not an audiobook.
Okay. Ebook, physical book, all the formats. And that particular question when you joined, I think we were talking about what Ayize is reading right now, and it's student pitches. What makes a great pitch?
I mean, I think you gotta hook somebody in from the beginning. You gotta give them a full narrative, no cliffhangers, and it's gotta be unique, right? It's gotta be unique and recognizable. That's
unique and recognizable.
Yeah. And here's the best way I can think about it. It's like, oh, you're gonna love this, Miss Polly. It's like dating, right?
It's like dating. Actually, I don't like, but that's the thing. I don't like dating.
Right. But when you date someone, you're looking for someone that you recognize as attractive.
Yes.
But still has something new.
Okay. And then in my brain, I'm like, how do you define new? I was like, that's neither.
That's not on you. That's on them.
Right.
Right? Where you like, oh, but you wear purple socks. Okay. Or like,
so yeah, recognize as attractive and fat. Okay. I like that. Okay.
Oh, let's see what former students on here. What's up? How you doing?
You're like, yes, I know how to write a great pitch. Like, yes. Ray Sunshine, the artistry says they get it. So that's awesome. If I ever write a short story, which will only be for my reading, I will keep that in mind. Familiar?
Hey, my uncle always says art is intercourse. It's not masturbation. So
yes, agreed. I'm here for that. Because the two exercises are very different. And I much prefer intercourse. So it's pretty It's pretty much balancing relatability with reinventing the wheel. Oh, what do you think about that?
Relatability with reinventing the wheel. I don't think you have to reinvent the wheel. I think you can, but you just have to make it spin in a different way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, okay, it's like rims. Everybody got rims. Not everybody, right? Like ballers got rims, right? Like everybody got the rims, and it's like, but some got diamonds on them. Some got like stars. Like so it's different.
Different patterns, different colors.
Yes,
Okay. So it's kind of like an outfit. Now I got you.
See, I'm a fashion misfit, so I don't do the fashion. But yes, it's like that.
But it's like you want to be in season, in style, but you want colors to be unique or that communicate your individualism. Okay, bet I got it. Okay. Yay.
Yep.
So Ola says swirl pattern. Yes. Okay, I got it. And then Ray says, I like that. I need to keep that in mind. So yes, dropping gems. I like that. That's brilliant for me. Okay. So I have a couple of disclosures. One, Wednesday is a very interesting day for me because after this I have like a book club discussion. We discuss a different story in dark matter. And before I used to do this to 6, and then that started at 6, and then people were like, that physically doesn't make any sense. So then I started ending this at 5:50, which is 5:51 right now. I'm always late. But with all those disclosures, you're like, I know way too much about this woman. What are you watching now?
What am I watching now? What is that? Fleischman's in Trouble. Yeah, it's Crazy White People in New York. I love it.
Okay.
I've not heard of it. Fleischman's in Trouble. That's definitely something I've been watching. You know, I'm weird right now because I just have so much going on. Like I put it on to go to sleep. Yes, Less I've been watching, but like I watch like old episodes of the TV show Taxi, just because I know. Listen, it's the theme song at the beginning that like I love theme songs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I should be watching more, but right now I'm just like I wake up, I grind, I make dinner, I hang out with the dog, I hang out with my lady, and then it's like I need to turn the brain off. So I haven't been like I just started rewatching Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, Kindred, I was not feeling. Sorry, listen. I saw Octavia Butler 3 times before she died. My good friend, awesome homie to death, Niall Hopkinson, was like about to do a tour with her right before she died. I bow at the altar of Octavia Butler. I still think people are caking off of her a little too much right now, and people need to make their own things. But that series, I was like, this is drier than like dry toast on like Thursday when you're not supposed to have butter. This is so damn boring. And if that victim ass white boy did not stop acting like he had never heard anybody say the N-word in his entire life, I was gonna smack him. I couldn't. And I was like, why are you in this movie? Like, why are you in this show so much? In the book, you didn't come in, like you barely made an entrance until like the middle of the book. Why are you here at the beginning? What do you have to say? Like, what are you doing? Sorry, that was me. So when they canceled it, I was like, oh well. Yes, so weak, so weak. And white people don't have to be weak in this stuff. Like, I would have loved for him to be like, yo, babe, this shit is fucked up. Because in the book, he was like, babe, this is messed up. I feel you. Let me get you a backpack with some stuff in it so that when you go over there, you got some strength with you, okay? I got you. Like, he could have just been that dude, right? He could have been a white dude supporting a black woman, and I would have been like, good white man, here's a donut. But instead, they had to make him the center of everything, and I was like, sorry, that's just me.
No, that is, we'll talk more about it offline.
Like, I'm trying to keep my podcast. I mean,
Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk more about that offline. Yeah, we'll talk more about it offline. But I do appreciate. I think everything you said is highly insightful. So, and Ola agrees with you. So I'm just concerned. Like, I think in my mind, it's like Kindred has to do well to get investment for like Dawn and Wild Seed, and I should probably just rewrite that story I'm at.
I think
So Ola's also excited. Go ahead.
you have a good story, there's good narrative here, right? If they can just rely on the source material, right? Just trust that woman studied how to tell story before some of these writers were alive, right? And just let that, like, yes, you have to adapt. I totally understand that, but just go back to the source, right? Ad fontes, right? That's the classics. Like, if you're studying ancient Greek, ancient Latin, they would say the same thing. Ad fontes, back to the source. You go back to the source to move forward. And on that level, things generally tend to go well. When you start putting in some new weird, what's the 21st century? We need these kinds of. What I'm saying is that I'm available to write any of this stuff at any point. There's a Octavia short story that I'm not going to say which one it is because I don't want anybody to touch it. But if they just let me have one Octavia Butler short story, I will write you a script. Actually, the script is already written. That would be a major motion picture that could just catapult the whole damn thing.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Thank you.
But I think, okay, I also like it when they change stuff up. Like, did you watch Brave New World? I think it was on Peacock. Yeah. It was completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
But
go ahead.
But you got to hit it out the park at that point.
Very true. Or like Queen Sugar, they added Nova. There was no Nova in the book. And I couldn't imagine the show without. I mean, Nova's problematic as I get out. Anyway.
That's the whole point of Nova. Listen, okay. Queen Sugar was like, what's that other one? This Is Us?
Yes. Also, I had not finished Queen Sugar. I'm saving like 2 or 3 episodes for something.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
But those were 2 shows that I was like, I cannot watch this anymore because this is too emotionally evocative for me. I have to go to work tomorrow. I cannot be if I heard one more time, Ralph Angel, if I just heard that one more time, I was like, I can't. I am no, that boy needs love. He don't need no more hate. I'm like, God damn it! How come the only time that I see black love is on this damn show? Yeah. But yeah, you can invent. But I believe for Queen Sugar, the author of the book was also in the writer's room at some point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm not sure. But I think so. But stuff like that, right? Where you're involving folks that aren't just in industry, that aren't just out of Hollywood, right? When you do that and you kind of more connected, well, then things start getting real interesting and real fun, right? But if it's just okay, how do we make this into the next Back to the Future or whatever? I ain't the one.
Okay. It's 5:58. We will say the this or that for when we had you on for the Counterclock Monte Cristo or something else. Thank you so much for being super patient with me because I know I was a bit all over the place via email.
Oh, you're awesome. I love you. You're great. You have fun. Have fun with Dark Matter. That is the book that got me in. That is the book that got me into the Afrofuturism listserv back in the day.
Yeah.
Because yes, I was in that, and I fucked up. I'll tell you that story later. But yeah, no, I love Dark Matter. That is a cultural freaking keystone. So I'm so glad that folks are still reading it and reading those short stories. And yeah, and everybody, thank you for being on here. Please, follow me on the Instagrams and on the I don't know, I'm pretty much just on Instagram. And if you're out here, if you're in the Bay Area and you want to come to City Lights Books, 6 p.m. tomorrow, you can see me in person. I'll sign whatever you got to sign and, say whatever you need to say.
Yay! I will look for that information, put it in the email blast. Timothy, thank you. Ola, thank you. Oh, I hope it's okay that I'm shortening your name. But anyway, and yeah, have a great evening.
You too.
Okay. Bye.